Good morning, everybody. My name is David Marples. I'm from the Department of History and Classics, and I'm one of the organizers of this conference. And next to me is Geoffrey Rockwell, the director of the Kule Institute. And we've got an interesting conference and day ahead. We have speakers from, I think, many areas of Ukraine, from the far west to the east and south. I think pretty well everywhere is covered there, as well as from Japan, United States, and different parts of Canada. In fact, some of the Ukrainians are in different parts of Canada, so the Ukrainian contingent is considerably larger than it might appear from the speakers list. The conference is sponsored primarily by the Defense Engagement Program with the Department of National Defense, and we're very grateful to them for this sponsorship. The Defense Engagement Program, I believe this is the first one, or the first time it's ever been held at the University of Alberta, and that's really facilitated matters and allowed us to invite pretty well who we wanted to invite. So I'm going to turn over to Geoffrey Rockwell to say a few words, and then I'll be back.
Thank you. As was mentioned, I'm Geoffrey Rockwell, and I'm the director of the Kule Institute for Advanced Study. If any of you from the University of Alberta are interested in finding out more about it, we have a pamphlet, and please come to talk to me. We're here to support research in the humanities, social sciences, and arts. I'd also like to thank Peter and Doris Kule, who have inspired the Kule Institute, and their portrait is actually right around the corner there. It's actually quite a nice portrait. They have been philanthropists who have supported a number of organizations on campus. And I think at this point, I will hand it back to you.
Okay, next I'd like to call on Steve Patton, the Associate Dean for Research in the Faculty of Arts, to say a few words.
Good morning and welcome. On behalf of Dean Leslie Cormack and the Faculty of Arts, I just wanted to welcome everybody to this really important conference. It's an exciting program and a very important and timely topic that you're addressing. As we begin, I want to acknowledge that we are here on the traditional lands of First Nations and Métis peoples, Treaty 6. And this is something we do at the beginning of so many events, and it's something that's important for us to do. And for a conference like this, where people are thinking about territory, thinking about sovereignty, thinking about language, these kinds of issues are things that we realize cross over so many fields and so many questions and so many issues. So it is significant to pause for that moment and acknowledge what it means to us as scholars to be doing our work here and joining here in a conference on Treaty 6 territory. This is now the sixth year of the current conflict, with much loss of life and uprooting of families and still no permanent settlement in sight. And that makes this really a timely gathering. I see that there are papers addressing issues that involve looking back to understand the prelude to war, examining motivations, interrogating Russia's role, and really importantly, and I see much of this is at the end of the day, looking forward to the future and exploring Canada's role. These are all important questions. There's a lot of interesting papers, a really strong contingent of people here to discuss these important issues. So I want to wish you the best of luck on behalf of Dean Cormack and the Faculty of Arts, and best of wishes for a really productive day. Thanks.
Next, I'd like to call on Vice President Research of the University of Alberta, Matthias Ruth.
Thanks, Steve, and thanks to all the organizers, and good morning to everyone. I'm delighted to welcome you to the University of Alberta on behalf of President David Turpin and the entire senior leadership of the university. And I want to also point out that since its foundation in 1908, the social sciences and humanities have stood at the core of academic life here, and that what is happening here today really plays very much to the history of the university as well. Today, we continue to celebrate the diversity of this intellectual and creative activity that has been happening here on campus since the early 1900s. And that's carried out across the academy. Faculty members, staff, and students really delight us on a daily basis. They challenge us. They help us to look critically at our world and to creatively engage with each other and the world around us. They force us to define and engage also with eternal and contemporary problems and challenges. The program that you have designed here for today for this conference certainly supports this vision. The University of Alberta has recently completed a strategic plan that is now in its implementation phase. We call it For the Public Good. And it has a wide range of different objectives. Objective 11 of this plan is specifically focused on advancing the university's reputation for research excellence by pursuing fundamental and original questions and ideas, pushing the frontiers of knowledge, inspiring creative experimentation, and driving innovation to advance society. On a broader scale, President Turpin recently offered comments about the important role that the university, this one and all others, in essence, play in society, and he noted that institutions like this one must not be afraid of controversy. Indeed, embracing differences often leads to the generation of new ideas and the further expansion of knowledge. Universities have played an important role in this process of knowledge generation, and they need to continue to do so. Universities also pride themselves on supporting people to think critically and helping them to learn how to assess viewpoints that are diverse and often different from their own. Sometimes we are troubled or angered by people's ideas, but we must not shy away from exploring them. The focus of today's conference, Russian policy and the war in Ukraine's Donbas, is of great geopolitical and social importance. I don't need to tell you that. But there is also great value in turning our attention today to the future options and Canadian policies towards the region. With this in mind, I would like to say my heartfelt thanks to the sponsors of this conference who have organized this, particularly David Marples and the university's Department of History and Classics, and also Geoffrey Rockwell and Adam Donbas of the university's Kule Institute for Advanced Studies. I want to also express my appreciation to all the speakers who will be contributing their thoughts and expertise today. I wish you a fruitful and lively conversation, an exchange of ideas that stimulates all of you in the best tradition of scholarly debate. So thank you to everyone here for your contributions to the intellectual, scholarly, and creative life of the university. It is both a fitting and inspiring initiative, and I want to wish you the very, very best for the presentations that lie ahead. Thank you so much.